Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends. What were you gonna say? Welcome to what?
No,
Welcome
you know what
to
it is?
what were you gonna say?
My cord had fallen out of my microphone, and so I was like, I hope that didn't undo my microphone.
I was gonna say like, welcome to Mama's house. Welcome to. It sounded like you were. I was like, what were you gonna say?
I
uh,
know, no. It's still working. It's still working. I just checked. Okay, go on.
okay, we're two longtime friends to
Can
discuss
we
the
do it again?
riveting and. Oh no, that's so fun.
Okay.
Okay. um, Christina, add that in the bloopers somehow. Maybe at the end or something. Anywho. No, not that.
I fucked it up.
I want to, yeah,
Sweeties.
I want to say, hey, everybody, it's Wa, but I know that's wrong.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Talkie Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which is, messy,
Confused.
clean, smelling beautifully with like jasmine and rose, but also just like there's a bunch of oil in our hair and it's just like dripping down our face at all times. Anyway, at the end of the
Mildly
day,
greasy.
hopefully mildly high, sweet and greasy, honey, just like donut holes,
Ooh.
freshly fried beignets or something like that. Anyway, so we're talking about, I'll tell you what it is. Love During Lockup. It's season 5, episode 27, Free Candice. Which Candice is now free. So is Brittany, but so is Candice in this moment, both free.
Mhm.
And we can talk about them. But let's talk. Well, yeah. Do you want to start with Candice and I don't know how you decided this handle? Yeah, Handy.
Handy the second.
Oh, the second. Sorry, for some reason I thought you were like, I knew it was Handy, but I thought you were like calling him like Handle. That's confusing.
I tried to do handle like with a little 2, but I don't know how to make the little 2 go up there. So Handy the second or Handy times 2 or Handy to the second power.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
and Candice. So she's like, I really like him because regardless of my past mistakes, he still loves me. I was like, these are you made choices. I don't like the idea of you making a mistake. She just walks out of prison, and don't you feel like when she walked out of the doors that she was holding a lot of things and you wanted him to run up to her and take it from her? But there must be some kind of rule.
Yes, I did. And I was just like, what horrible shirt did they give you? What horrible, because you were definitely not, there was no way that she in her life ever chose to wear that shirt. And that was just like it felt like a men's cut medium t-shirt that was like not
men's navy tee.
Yes. I mean, that is no dignity. That is like, like that's the part where I'm like, okay, well, she's already served her time, like, I mean, this is unfair. This is undue. Okay, go on.
So he's there and he's hugging on her and he's really excited. And so is she, as all people are when they come out of prison, there's a little shell shockness. But she sees that car and she's like, oh shit, real. She loves that truck. She needs a cigarette too. And I was like, ugh. As soon as she said I need a cigarette, I was like, meh, gross.
Gross. People who need cigarettes like that, it's literally like, exactly when they're not being honest, and and that they are dealing with something, because that's the moment they need a cigarette the most. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's the ultimate tell. So she sees him and she needs one when, after, there's just like, it's just so, it's like beautifully written.
It just screams addiction to me. That's what it screams. It screams addiction. But it's fine. It's fine. We grew up in the 80s where when people would say like, I need a cigarette after good sex. So it was like much more common. But now we're like, you need one? Like right this moment, to the point where you audibly say it out loud? That's interesting. So she then get to his car. She talks about how she's been in and out the prison so much since she was 19, and that she's 29 now. She really has spent like about 6 years accumulatively in prison. And I was like, outside of that, girl, you've been married twice. So within the 4 years not in prison, she's been married twice and had a child. I'm like, That's crazy. That's a crazy bit of work. No, you married twice, had a child, robbed some homes, stole some cars, ran away from police within a 4-year time span. That's a wild ass 4 years. Like I don't think I've done much in 4 years as that. I mean, maybe in my 20s in a 4-year span I probably had sex twice. Um I definitely worked a majority of those years. And I cried a lot of those years. Like, so for her to be so active is just kind of like, okay, girl, good for you. But also, those past mistakes are more than just mistakes.
I agree with you. I never live.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I ever I mean, this is a full fucking like literary character. You know what I'm saying? She's, I mean, at the precipice of every swing of an emotion and action. And I am incredibly sheltered and incredibly addicted to comfort and incredibly privileged where I won't do any of it. I won't do any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just will sit at home. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I mean, so it's just there's
Different.
something, yeah, I mean, it's different, you know?
Different
It's
lifestyle.
yeah, absolutely. So guess what? But he's so happy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he's has
Mm-hmm.
his princess there. He shows her, look, queen, look what I got you. It's your fake Louis with all the fake other stuff with it. She's like, basically, let me tell you that while I was in prison, I never asked for anything. Anything. But one day he decided to give me money. And so I showed him that I bought pillows. And he's like, you didn't have pillows, you didn't have sheets. What else don't you have? So I gave him a list. And then he got everything on that list, and he's been getting everything on the list. I just keep adding to the list. I said, oh, I don't have an apartment. And he was like, okay, what else? And I was like, I don't have a furnished apartment. And he was like, okay, what else? I don't have a fake Louis bag. And now look, I mean, look, and then he gets on a knee and he proposes. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
I need a cigarette.
Mm-hmm. 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 In that order. Did you
I
expect
love
her
it.
to
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Did you expect her to yell at him about the bag? Because she was so pouty and annoying about the bag that he broke the tab, that I
Yes,
kind
yes,
of
yes.
expected her to be like, yeah, you broke my bag. But no, she was just like, and then he did the sweetest thing ever. He holds her and he's like, "Are you okay? Let me know if you're overwhelmed. You need me to back
She
up?"
is.
She's like, "No, you don't have to back up." And he's like, "Okay, I just want you to
But
know that I understand what you're going through and I don't want to upset you." So he's like not only Handy the second, he's Handy an evolution of Handy. Like just completely understanding that maybe this girl does not want you all over her right now. But we do find out that she has to go to a halfway house.
yes, it's true. Well care. I think that yeah, you're right. That is absolutely true. She has to go, and she didn't realize that, like, she was kind of, I think that people, yeah, she didn't realize that there was like still responsibilities, or she might be still beholden to certain things. She thinks that she has to be there for a little bit. And she's like, I mean, once I get past the 14 days, I have a whole place. And they're like, well, you have a whole addiction issues, and thrusting yourself into the care of someone you just met for the first time and he's paying for everything probably isn't like real conducive to like a very stable situation. And so they want her to stay longer. Um, she says something that's like very sad and then also kind of jarring, which of course is that she's not used to any man treating her well, and so for him to be like nice, sweet, kind, generous, it makes her, she says, feel awkward, like she's not used to it. She can't kind of like get around it. And there's something that I feel like makes me feel like this is, I mean, a perfectly written first scene of them. Like this is Love After Lockup at its best. Like there's everything there that's Shakespearean that would like let us sense that tragedy is afoot and
Mhm,
that the poem is
mhm.
about, you know what I'm saying? And that it's going to be absolutely just a flaming descent into hell, but it's going to be either slow or somewhat nuanced in this own particular way. And I think that, I mean, I'm signing up, like
Yeah. She is going to play him and play him hard.
mhm.
She is going to use that understanding that she's not used to this man and run over him and wring him out like a towel, or she is just going to cheat on him and he's going to
Mhm.
find out.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it's just like,
Mhm.
and speaking of cheating on one person and them finding out, can we talk about Tennis and Rob?
Yes.
Wow. Rob is okay. I knew he was in prison for a long time. Okay. I knew it. But because of the way he's been talking in all of his confessionals, there was still a part of me that's like, oh, this is a grown ass man. But then when he started to refer to himself as a king and a protector, and then someone says that he's been in prison for 16 years straight, and when he went into prison, he was a teenager. I said, oh, no, no, no. Rob is going to come out of prison and while out. He is not going to be able to be the husband that he thinks he is because he hasn't stepped out of an unprisoned God's green earth as a full-fledged adult ever. He has
Yes.
never walked free as a full adult. He's
Yes.
never had to pay bills on time. He's never had to negotiate like outside behavior. He's going to have to learn an entire new body language, nomenclature, everything for being out of prison. Like the man hasn't gone into a grocery store and bought an apple, not never. Like those little things that make us move in society in the way that we do, lost on someone, especially someone who's not humble, someone who believes that he wants a submissive woman whom he can tell what to do, yet, and believes that he's a king, yet hasn't even been tested as a human in society in 16 years.
And the couple of years that he was in society didn't go well.
Not at all.
Didn't go well. So I agree with you. I agree with you. And so basically to have the scene with Tennis and her mom, it was like very, for me, I was like trying to extrapolate why she'd be the way she is. You know what I'm saying? Because we've obviously seen his mom and we understand that. And then her mom definitely felt like she had to apologize, like for not doing enough. And Tennis is again like a gorgeous put together woman who's raising her kids in a very comfortable situation, which looks like they want for nothing. They look like they look like a sitcom family,
Yes.
like that son is adorable. The fact that he keeps saying that he just wants to I need to work out more. And he's like this little guy. I mean, are you kidding you? I mean, like that is, I mean, okay. And the daughter being like, I just want to make sure I spend more time with you. And then Tennis being like, we're going to still get the manicures and pedicures. And that's our thing. Like, I mean, give this woman like a fucking television show. She's perfect. And so that's why I'm just like, what is happening here? Like, we get this one thing where Rob really wants to say that for some reason he's able to send her like $7,000 a month or
Mhm.
whatever because he's so good at playing pool. And for some reason in prison, there's just multi-millionaires that play every day, every day there's just throwing down so much money that he procures $7,000 a month from pool, and he's not going to be killed in prison. I mean, only because if I'm just assuming that if you're playing for those high stakes and you get mad at someone and you don't want them to have, I mean, like, so much of this is so wild to me. I mean, like, digesting it is like, I need a Coke Zero, just like Rick does later. Anyway, go on.
I mean, like he makes six figures. I would assume untaxed. I would assume just like no pension, no plan, no taxes. Like so he is out here making that amount of like untraceable money while in prison, giving it to her. He says that she's spoiled, spending all the money, but he's a king and he's a man and he's going to take care of and protect his family. I'm like, what real life job are you going to get? Also, was it pool or poker? I knew it was some kind of gambling thing. I wasn't sure which one it was. I thought it was poker, but like that shit is wild. Either one, it's a wild and crazy thing that he's doing. Are they planning on moving to Vegas? Is he okay? Is he a gambler? Like, is he gonna hurt the family eventually? Like, she needs to be putting things in place so that if shit goes wrong, then her and her kids will come out unscathed. I mean, I know they won't, but you're right, Chris. It's like, how did this very well put together non-crazy person who seems to be a loving mother to two beautiful, bright children end up in a situation where for 5 years she has been with her, I guess, childhood sweetheart who has been down in prison. At that point, he was in prison for at least 11 years. Like, it is
like, unless he is a championship, like Olympic pool player, unless he comes out of prison and that was what he was doing for 16 years, getting it good. Well, that sounds gross, but making it, like, just playing so much that he now can, like, kill anyone with a fucking stick, but on the table. Like, he's so good that, like, then I would believe it. I guess there's really good pool players, there's really good bowlers. There's people that do this shit for a living. Like,
but they don't make $100,000 a year, girl.
Poker players for sure. You could, but
Olympic pool players.
I haven't done the research. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, it would be great if he did, like, that would be, what a great story, and if, like, tennis is like, yeah, that's what I've been saying, he's a championship pool player, I'd be like, okay, bitch, okay,
wait,
you got it,
Did he say the second source of income? Because he said he has 2 sources of income. Did he ever mention the second source? No, right? I don't remember him saying it. Another thing that's crazy is him being like, her not being submissive and thinking that she has an equal voice to me is going to crash this relationship. Like, because she says, even though they're in a submissive relationship, that she should have an equal voice, which he doesn't believe she does because she needs to be submissive, which is so crazy because that's not, I mean, the submissive person has to give over power to that dominant. And she hasn't given over power to him. She still has power because she can turn off the cameras without any qualms. She can choose whatever. She can choose to not go visit him every weekend without any qualms. And so, to me, she doesn't understand that when he gets in her face and she's saying, like, I should have an equal voice and, blah, 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 it's going to be different. And he's going to come out and take over and try to run their lives. And it's just like, how can you give over power to someone who doesn't know how to pay taxes?
I wish to God that they would not allow him to move right into her home. Like, he has to live separate for like 6 months. Yeah. And that's absolutely true. Like, if he has that much money and he has that, like, he should, like, they should just be able to date. I mean, I don't know. That's how I really feel. Like, it's so interesting how much the kids want him out, like, when
they don't know no better.
Yeah.
They don't know no better. That little one was 5 years old. And that the other girl, she was whatever, 8 years old when he came into their lives. So yeah. This is all tennis. Okay. You want to move on?
Yes.
Sam and Rick.
From tennis to pickleball.
Oh, I thought it was pickleball. I've never actually seen it in action.
Yeah, it's pickleball.
And so it's like, oh, okay, he's really bad at it.
Yeah, he is.
That hand-eye coordination.
Oh yeah,
is like awful.
Well, we could see why. I mean, he's also had some, dealings with the devil, and the devil being that whiskey, Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this is where he goes back to see his, like, nieces, and the nieces have a cute kitchen where they're cooking. I want to say breakfast, but why I bring that up is I keep looking, and with the breakfast, he drinks a Coke Zero. I'm not saying it's a bad choice, but I'm saying it's an interesting choice that Coke Zero with eggs and Coke is. Just think about it. Like, just think about what's happening in your mouth if you, like, what?
It didn't look like eggs to me. It looked like some kind of summer squash melange Like that's what it looked like to me. So I did
Simmer
think
squash melange?
melange or whatever the like melange, like I don't know, mix. But anyway, so like I didn't know if it was breakfast. I thought it was breakfast because I saw muffins as a centerpiece, and that was a wildly clean kitchen.
I swear I saw some bacon. I swear there was, and the yellow was just straight yellow, where it's
I
like,
didn't know. I thought I don't know, girl. I can't even tell you, but I saw her flipping. Was it potatoes? Was it
yeah.
I don't know what it was. And so they made that meal, sat down, and then I don't know, okay, if Sam is unaware of the way she comes off, but like she got in front of this man's peoples and put her foot down in a way that was so crazy. And I think the nieces are just like really good sports, because if that were me, I would have been like, how dare she try to take my uncle, who is barely living off of his pension as is, and demand that he make his way to Idaho to see her, even though he said several times in a minute that he doesn't have the money. And she's like, I don't understand. You don't have the money. What does that mean? I'm your woman. What does money have to do with whether or not you're going to come see me for the holidays? Like, I deserve that because I'm your fiance.
Yeah, I agree with her.
Oh, do tell.
This man is saying that he wants to marry her and they're in love and she's in prison and he knows that like she is just like has nothing and no one in it. And as he is just going off to like high school graduations at weird rich friends' backyard homes where all the females are throwing their pussies in his fucking face, and I know that, and you're not gonna like try to just come see me with just like a basic bus ticket and like whatever, just to like, this is my Christmas present, you can't even give me this, then don't give me, what are you going to give me at all? Like, and he is just, at the same time, it's a test, because at the same time you need to know that some man is going to want to be with you and make it a priority. And if he doesn't, it doesn't bode well to when you're going to get married. And I agree. It's like, don't fucking fuck with me then. Let me get someone who actually cares about me. If you're just fucking around with my time and emotions as you just like fantasize about having a female in your life but don't really want one, because you could have any of these biddies if you wanted one, but you're just choosing to have a long distance relationship for some reason. Everyone went to high school with you anyway. We all are drunks. What's the diff?
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. That's one take. I get you. So Sam has been married through 4 times. So he would be her 5th husband. I just feel like, I'm sorry, ma'am, you don't have a leg to stand on. You don't have a hip bone to stand on. You don't have a torso to stand on. Like, you are ridiculous.
We knew she was ridiculous when she has her like Christian jewelry line that she's been working on called Spiritual Adornment Maker Sam, you know?
Hi, my name is Samantha. You can call me Sammy. I am due for release in March of 2024. I'm moving forward and going my best to correct my mistakes.
Except for that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I stay very productive and positive. I just got a job with AAP. It's a phone marketing position with great money. There are lots of opportunities for advancement there. I am writing a memoir, oh girl, about my trials and successes. I have done the research and I have been writing my first few chapters. I am working on college Bible course and learning to work on something from home. I am a Christian. I enjoy church and fellowship. I have a jewelry business I have been working on. I have most of the supplies and equipment purchased.
I need some more though.
Yeah. I named it Spiritual Adornment Maker, SAM for short. I mean, the acronym. I do religious and spiritual designs. I have 3 granddaughters aged 2 to 9. I would
So I
love
can't
to.
ever leave them. Sorry,
I would love to live in Cadwell, Idaho, so I can be close to them and involved in their lives. I would love to be married again someday and God, I would love to be married again someday, girl. You have had your fill. There should be you have had more than most. You know what I mean? How
Yes.
greedy. What a
Yes.
glutton. What a seven deadly sinner you are.
Yes,
Uh
yes, yes.
and I have been saving yourself. You drunk? I love
She's in
being
prison. There's no men around. How easy for you.
I love being in a committed marriage and I have not given up on my dream. Please write or send a message on JPay. I love pictures. I could use some good friends and positive support. Wow. You guys, I just read her pen pal letter or notice or whatever.
PayPal, yeah.
That is crazy. She is a crazy user and abuser, and she's not afraid to bring Christianity into it. That's where the money is though, right?
Oh,
You
it
hook
always,
the
yeah.
Christians, you hook the money.
Tipping. But basically, he remember early on was like, wasn't he the one that? Oh no, that was the other one that was like, she said she wouldn't move. She said that she wanted to stay there, and Rick knew that.
I
Always knew
didn't
that.
I don't know because I don't know where Rick
Yeah.
lives. I didn't realize they weren't in the same place. But you know who's
Yeah.
in Idaho also is Joey.
Yeah, honey. When we go to that gay coffee shop.
Oh, Idahomo. What a great name. Okay.
Mhm.
Um so anyways, he gets with his friend to play pickleball and his friend does some real hype up with him to try to get him to say, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I fully thought this man was gonna say that he didn't love her or that he didn't want to get married
Mhm.
because of all the pressure she was putting on him and the obvious manipulation. Because she said, I'm gonna let you think about it. And then the next day she calls him and she's like, okay, well, when are you coming? And he's like, didn't I just tell you yesterday I can't come because of money? And she's like, well, then I don't think that this is going to work because I need someone who's going to do that. And he says, are you breaking up with me? And she's like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm not doing this. You are because you don't want to come to see me. So like I'm not actually, I don't want this to end. I love you so much. So if you want this to stay going, then you will do what I say,
Yes.
which is
Eh,
it's abusive.
well, all she wants is for him to commit or shit and get off the pot and make sure that if he wants to be with her, he actually wants to be with her. And I'm sorry, if you haven't seen each other in a long time and all you have is like one Christmas, you should just be able to come up and see someone for Christmas. Now he's just like, oh, I have an ex-wife who has half my pension. And it's like, I mean, then honey, just get another job. I don't have to tell you, like like you fucked up and that you drank too much of your fortune away. Like, like get some other things happening for you. But because I'll be honest, she needs coffee. She needs coffee,
Mhm.
and he's not providing money for even coffee. Like
Shameful.
some people are getting sheets and pillows.
And apartments and Dodge Rams. And
Yeah, yeah.
he's not even getting a trip to Idaho.
Fake Louis V's. Yeah.
So
Once. I
so
know
that
it's so sad.
that friend hypes him up, though he's like, yes, I want to get married. And the friend's like, yeah, you're going to figure it out. I'm not going to lend you any money, but you'll figure it out. And I was like, this took me right back to like David and Annie. Like I immediately was just transported to a time in which David and Annie got that friend who was married to that black lady to like fund most of their shit. Hilarious. Okay.
I
Remember when he
wonder
tried to
why
get
he
Annie to
yeah.
massage him? Remember when he tried
I
to get
wonder if sorry. Yeah, I do. I think it's such a shitty flex to be like, I look rich. I'm not going to help you, friend. Like, how much money? I feel like even to be like, I'll give you $500 on camera on this national show just to help you get somewhere is like not something this old white guy can do. That's what I'm saying. You're on television, like you spend 500, you're not going to give this other white guy you went to school with or whatever, $500 I mean, listen, he's probably going to drink it away because I'll be honest, Rick doesn't look like he's super healthy. He can't, and he doesn't look like. I mean, he doesn't. I don't think they should be together for a whole host of reasons, and mostly like it's a no host bar is the reason why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, but like he probably needs just to like he just keeps going around the same people that are the same type of people, you know, like in his hometown, it's all the same type of people that he's been seeing this whole time and fucking this whole time and drinking with this whole time. And it's just interesting, yeah, that like some guy's going to go on camera with him and not respect him enough or help him enough or think that he's worth enough just giving him a few $100s. It's like embarrassing, you know?
Yeah. No, you're right. So that's where we end that part of it. Next couple that we have is Joey and Michael. And this is where we have Michael, Joey, who goes into a lovely gay coffee establishment. And I saw either a hat or something that said Idahomo, and that was really cute.
Yes.
And he goes there to meet a queen named Minerva. Now, first I was like, oh, this is a queen. And I was like, she is a queen, but I don't think that was drag makeup. That was very natural makeup for someone. So I was like, oh, maybe, you know, but anyways, Minerva is this person. And Minerva has a column and she's very free sexually. And so Joey wants some like help because he says that he's not comfortable with, you know, showing affection and being like, whatever. I can't imagine like the women's time he wasted when he was having sex with them. Ugh. And then if he can't even be sexual around the gender he's attracted to, could you imagine what he did to his girlfriends or wife or whatever he had when he was straight? And whoever would believe that person to be straight is like wild. Like that was one of the things that jumped out at me at the very beginning. And so he says that he isn't vocally a sexual person and that Michael has told him that he is not good at giving head. And at that point, I was like, how could you be bad unless you were just literally chomping on at the bit or at the, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how you could be bad at that. But she does explain, and she tries not to use her hand, but I saw herself definitely like using it. She tried to like not be obscene, but she was like, so this is what you do. And I just was really confused. And she's like, just go watch some amateur porn. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, you've never done that? Chris, what do you think?
No, I mean, yeah, like it's interesting. He does seem like a little baby, like sheep, you know, little baby goat, you know, just like traipsing about. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he just very much wants to be open sexually and he just seems like a huge submissive and he's so happy that Michael will like turn him out and like do whatever Michael wants to do, you know, and he just like dreams about the time in which Michael like had his way with him. He's just like, I mean, I think that at that point, then you really have to just tell him like you are a hardcore sub. You should look at like real dom shit. You know what I'm saying? Like dom sub shit, like obviously like gay themed, you know. But Minerva, you know, starts slow with just like, well, you have to use both hands. And I think that's a beautiful queen because of just the hair. The hair alone is is queenie hair. But anyway, she's like, well, you have to use every kind of thing you can use, both hands, and keep it going, and lots of lube. And he's like, yeah, lube, or like spit or whatever. I mean, mostly it's interesting. I think you just have to like really also look like you like it or look like you want it. So Minerva's like, yeah, you know, you have to like see how much that can turn you on to be of service or to like be submissive. He's like, oh, okay. And then but then basically this culminates in the renting of like a cheap motel room so they can like have their 15 minutes FaceTime, and that cuts off and they have like their phone time right after that, which seems to be like what happens for them in the sequence of events for them to like be able to hang out. And so when Michael and him like get to have their FaceTime, I see that there's lube right on the like he brought a little thing of lube is right on the thing. And he basically tells him again everything I said, how he like comes at night thinking about that one time that they had sex in this hotel room. Now, I think that is in itself sexy to tell someone. It's just the way he says it isn't as sexy. He should just be a little more like, but I mean, he's also on camera, so just more like, hey, babe, just so you know, this reminds me of the time we were last together, and you know, I come about it every night, or whatever he wants to say. You know, see how like low my voice went. I can't even say it. He's like,
Yes.
It's hard for me to talk dirty. I don't really like to talk dirty. I like unless things are happening to me in the moment, then I can like assume I'll say something, like this feels good or I want more or oh yes or this, or
just like
whatever it
that.
is.
Just like that. No, I don't like talking dirty either. I hate when people try to do it in text. I hate when people try to do it like before
Fuck that.
sex. Like I
Yeah.
don't. I'm like, stop. You can do it. I won't give anything back to you though. So,
Mm-hmm.
but feel free. And he then gets mad at him because a friend told him that Joey was still on the dating apps, and Michael is like, I thought we were going to be exclusive, and Joey's like, we are, I'm not doing anything, and Michael's like, well, guess what, if you do something, it'll get back to me. And I was like, and so was Joey. Joey was like, what do you want? And even if I was doing it, you're in prison. What am I am I waiting for you? And we're at the point where Michael hasn't even told Joey that the shit was going to be probably 6 years anyway. So it's like, good for Joey
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for that. So
Yeah, but he tries to make it like, no, I was only on to get your pictures. Yeah, because that was the way I could get the picture I used to make our beautiful
oh,
portrait
is that what
together.
he was saying? I didn't know what he
Yes,
was trying to say. I
yes,
was like, that's a
yes,
weird reason. I don't understand what's going on.
yes. That's why you needed it.
But even so, I don't want him to like put all his eggs in that Michael basket, because that Michael has arrested development, and we can't deal with somebody who hasn't grown.
You're
Okay.
right.
The last couple, and the one that is the most destructive. Wow. It's just so interesting to see someone be so destructive and really not think that it's their fault.
I agree.
And I just, sometimes it's admirable. I mean, because those people still have,
Sorry, but you're
those
right.
people still have friends. Like, I am somebody who, like, if I'm weird. So, like, and I say things to people that upset them constantly. It's a theme throughout my life. And I think, for a host of, like, triggering and like upsetting reasons, I keep my friend circle very close because of that, because I don't want to have to deal with people's emotional grid when I inevitably say something wrong to them. So I can only handle a few of that kind of situation, like, certain amount a year. And if I have too many friends, then I'll have more of those interactions. So for her to just blatantly make these choices, yet have all these people in her corner, I can't be friends with someone who's so like, and even Jamal is sick of her shit. Like, even Jamal was like, what the fuck? Okay, so now let's go back and explain what happened. So we first start out the episode with her talking about how things are going to be different for her, and that she's going to have to be putting on jail makeup because she's been on YouTube trying to figure out how she's going to do her makeup while she's in prison. And so basically it's hot chocolate and some soda on her face in order to get that, like, brown girl magic.
Yeah, hot chocolate, like powdered carnation, just like, and then just in your eye, like, and
Or on your skin as foundation.
mixed with something to make the powder mixed with something like to like
Soda.
dilute.
Sticky. So it sticks in your face.
No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Uh-huh. So, she, like, yeah, anyways, so she's getting ready to figure out what's going on with her. And so they get on the phone to have a conversation about, like, Jamal coming out of the prison and, like, the 2 years that he just sprang on her. And he's trying to explain, like, I'm not trying to rush into this. I'm not trying to have anybody thinking that I'm just running towards you because you're going to shelter me during this time. I want us to get to know each other. I want to do this right. And so he's trying to be like what's seeming is a responsible adult who's recognizing that shit could go down that they don't expect. And so why get married and why entangle in that way? Even though I guess he's planning on moving in with her, which is like, they don't give a shit about them kids, but that's fine.
Oh yeah,
So
we knew that.
not one shit. And so he's like, that's the reason why. She's not buying it though. She still wants to recklessly run into life. Just like no inhibitions. She's Candice. She's Candice without the 6 years of cumulative time in prison. Just somebody who just, like a ping pong, moves left to right. You just wound her up, pull it back, let it go, and see where the fuck it lands. Okay.
You're right. You're right.
And she's like, okay, I got my virtual court, which in itself is a blessing. So she goes to the virtual court.
Yeah. Okay. Just yes. Okay. But she doesn't. She's annoyed by she's annoyed that it's even happening to her because she literally is like, why the fuck would they even like stop me for smoking and like thinking that I was driving bad, and as if she didn't already get another DUI, as if she already hadn't had the like fighting charge or whatever. Like none of that is a direct line to why this is happening. So that doesn't compute. So everything is like, I can't believe this is happening to me. So like, yeah, there is no blessing in this for her.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I love that.
So, I mean, and also to add to your list, as if she didn't abandon her eldest child to her mother, like just so much. And so she then is like the whatever person comes on the court, judge the judge cousin, and she's like, okay, hi judge, I'm feeding my daughter. And the judge goes immediately like, oh, okay, well then, you know what, let's just reschedule this until you're available. She's like, no, I'm available, you said today. So I'm available. I'm just letting you know that my daughter is here and I got to feed her because I'm a single mom. And the judge is like, but you're not prepared. This is court. You cannot be feeding your child in between this. And he's like, he's like, yeah, I don't understand what you expect me to do. I don't like the judge is just trying to reschedule the shit because the bitch ain't ready. But the bitch feels like she's can multitask and have her daughter screaming and she could be banging pots and shit during an actual court proceeding, which you cannot do, ma'am. So either you should have fixed the baby's, you wake the baby up, fix the baby's breakfast, put on some Miss Rachel, put on that other little girl who be doing all the dancing and stuff, like, and put Anaya somewhere where she cannot disrupt the proceedings and is safe.
Mm-hmm.
But Ayana doesn't believe that she should A, have to do that, and B, anyone should stop her from trying to feed her kid. And it's like, no one's trying to stop you, boo-boo. Feed your child. But we'll do this at a later date. And so she gets smart with the fucking judge, and the judge is about to like says something about 4 months probation. Defendant, this is Ayana. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my daughter ready for breakfast. She just woke up. I'm like trying to. Then the judge, no, miss, I am about to continue this matter until you can be here in person, which will be next week. Let's do that, okay? Because we're inconveniencing you clearly. And then Ayana responds with, no, you're not. I'm just here, Your Honor. I'm a single mother. I have no one here to help me with my daughter. She just woke up, like literally woke up 10 minutes ago, and I'm trying to get her breakfast. So
why didn't like you could like your daughter is awake when you wake up your daughter and get your daughter ready. I mean, like if you knew you had this, you could have, I mean, like things don't just, you have responsibility in your life. It's such an interesting thing, like the idea of things just happen and I had to deal with it, as opposed to like, that's a baby. You're responsible over this baby. You're responsible over yourself, like you just because just because you don't work in a court, even though at one point I'm like, how are you going to be like whatever you thought, like an anesthesiologist? Didn't one point she was going to be a lawyer?
No, I think she wanted
an
to
anesthesiologist and then something else.
Oh yeah, maybe it was a lawyer. No, she just is. I mean, Chris, on top of that, she's lying to the judge. That baby's been up. That baby had a conversation with her and Jamal earlier or whatever.
Yeah.
We just saw her have a conversation with Jamal this morning, who was calling her, to prep her and help her to be calm before talking to the judge. So she's on top of that lying. And then she gonna tell her confessional that she was being disrespected by a rude ass judge. And I'm like, no, this is literally all your fault.
Yeah.
Instead of talking to Jamal and laying down on the couch while you did so, you should have been in the kitchen cooking baby some breakfast so that at least she could be content or whatnot. And so then the judge says something about 4 months probation, which pisses her off. And she then like hangs up the phone, is cussing up a storm, takes off her mic, then goes into maybe the cellar or the basement to talk to Jamal. And Jamal is like, bitch, yes, they're going to treat you that way, but you got to just grin and bear it. You have to grin and bear it. You have to remain calm. You have to hold up your side or you're going to get in trouble. We're working towards one thing here. And I feel like Jamal should be like, nah, you're too hot-headed. Nope, I can't be with you.
Yeah, she is. I mean, has she ever been in prison?
I don't think so. Not that we are aware of.
Yeah, I mean, Because only because then I'm like, has she ever been in court before to know like really like what had happened, like what happens there, like why you can't act the way she's acting, or that there's like consequences because they don't care about you. I
Mhm.
mean, they don't care about, like you move in different ways when you're like in situations where everyone is involved. Time is professional or
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, just intense. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. God bless her. I mean,
Yeah, it's really hard. You're right. She's gotta let that go. She's headed for calamity, and it will take like not only therapy, but lots of things for her to realize that she is the constructor of her own tornado. Like she is the person at the center of it and the person creating it. So
I agree. So here we are. We did it. Those are all the peeps.
yeah. Speaking of tornado, thoughts and prayers, which I never say, to those people in Houston and around Katy, Texas, and that got hit by that tornado. That's got to be scary to just be in the Target minding your own business and like you got a shelter in place. So hope that you guys are doing well
Yeah,
in that with that.
I
So
agree.
okay, you guys, we are done with this. Once again, if you want to support us, please join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. You get exclusive content like a live every first Monday of the month and other goodies. So if you want to support us and you want to get a little extra to do, join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. But if you can't do that, Chris will tell you the ways that you can.
Oh,
Chris?
you can absolutely go to our Instagram. It's at DocuSweeties, and then our TikTok at DocuSweeties, or X at DocuSweeties1, Facebook, the DocuSweeties podcast Facebook group, of course, YouTube, DocuSweeties on YouTube, honey. All of it everywhere. Join, follow, like, subscribe, share amongst your friends. Give us 5 stars if you haven't yet, and a helpful review wherever you listen to this podcast. And other than that, we love you, and thank you for spending some time with us. And my hair is greasy. We know this, but you know what? It's like a full like oil treatment I'm doing. So that's what's happening. But we don't need to talk about it longer. Okay.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.